Oh, yay. I love it when the road's all ripped up. Hey YouTube, how's it going? Today is a Monday and I have a lot of things to do. We're going to head out to Princess Auto, pick up a few things, then Canadian Tire for the things that Princess Auto doesn't have. And then we're going to install my new WoodCraft CFM rear sets. I guess most people just call them WoodCraft Rearsets. Super excited. The problem with the stock rear sets on this bike is that the pegs aren't very gnarly, so your feet just slip off them, especially when it's wet, when it's raining. When I was at the track and it was wet, oh my goodness, I could not keep my feet on the pegs for the life of me. So they're very slippery, and the other downside is they're not adjustable, and I find that they're a little low for me. My knees are not on the tank. They're actually below the tank on this little extra piece of fairing here. And I would prefer them a little higher, get a little bit better grip. As well as this bike, I did lower this bike, and I did notice a couple times at the track that when I'm in full lean, and I'm not even, you know, Marquez or Rossi or Lorenzo style of lean, I was scraping the peg and my boot quite a bit. The first time it did scare me a little, but if I could raise the pegs up just a bit, I think that would help a lot. So, WoodCraft rear sets. Then I have a meeting for my family business at 2 o'clock. A marketing company wants to sell us some shit, and it always falls on me to deal with that stuff. And I'm not an easy sell, so it sucks for them. They're gonna have a challenge. And I have to mow my parents' lawn. The grass is ridiculous. They just got it reseeded, and they said not to mow it until the seeds come out on the top, so that it can help itself, you know, grow thicker and blah blah blah, and also help the weeds not to take over. So if the grass is really tall and big, the weeds have a harder time growing there. So it's really thick now, and it's that time. If I don't have time today to mow it, I might do it tomorrow. And then tonight we're also plastic dipping my girlfriend's hubcaps pink. So a little update on it as well. I need to call the insurance company in regards to my bike being damaged by another driver. I had Chris at Pros at Work check out the suspension for me, and everything looks good. Kickstand is okay. I was a little worried that the kickstand was weakened there, but no cracks, no stress on the engine or the mount, so it all looks good there. So it's just plastics that need to be replaced, so I should call my insurance company and hopefully they'll let me order it instead of going through Pros at Work, because it's going to have to come through another dealership, which is the Ducati dealer in Moncton, and I really don't want to wait for them to deliver it all the way to Bridgewater and then have to go fetch them. You know, it's just a pain in the butt. So I'd rather just put them on myself. I'm more than capable. And I hope that the insurance guy will understand. He's a biker guy. He said he owned 8 bikes, so I think he gets it. Do you ever come up to like a pair of cars at a light and you're like, which one should I get behind? Which one's gonna take off faster? I chose a Grand Caravan. Go! Yeah! I chose right. So there's Princess Auto for our American counterparts, because I don't know if you guys have Princess Auto in the States or not. I think it might just be a Canadian company, but it is the equivalent, I believe, to your Harbor Freight. So cheaper tools, just like kind of all around stuff. All around stuff, interesting. I don't know how else to explain it, really. So, as you can see on the photo on the screen, we now have WoodCraft Rearsets. I also installed a little USB port in here for charging my phone. But the, oh, that's sticky's coming off of it. I'm gonna have to secure that better. However, the little tiny, I bought a short 1 meter iPhone Lightning charging cable, and we were testing it and it charged fine. And then we started smelling something weird. The cable was burning up. So bad connection inside that little adapter or whatever. So $5 wasted on a cheap, shitty cable. I'll know better for next time. So I gotta buy another cable, a short one, and just to route it so I don't have a big dangling of cable. Something that's not gonna catch on fire. The WoodCraft Rearsets, that first ride, the pegs are very gnarly and it's lots of grip, whereas the stock ones you just slip right off. So I am quite happy with that. I can't slide my foot along the peg anymore to get onto the brake, or slide my foot into the shifting position. I have to kind of pick the foot up a little bit, pick my boot up a little, just because I used to slide along the peg, but now the peg is so grippy and gnarly that it just grips. So I think that's an okay trade-off, because having the foot slip off the peg is a far more larger inconvenience. It's just something I just have to adjust and get used to, not being able to slide my foot along the peg. But that's okay. Everyone else does it this way, so I'll get used to it. But I'm loving the grip on this. Like, man, the grip's so good. So a little late for my 2 o'clock meetings, 2:11. Called them, told them I'm going to be a little bit late. But that's okay. If you want my business, you'll wait for me. So I had Raouf, he was at home not doing anything, so he came over and gave me a hand, which was nice. We also caught, we had to reroute the front brake line, the master line. When they put my bike back together, they had it routed outside the suspension. I'm sure it was just a simple oversight, but it looked like it was lightly chafing the inside fairing, so I moved it back to where it should be. We did it the shortcut way. We just took both calipers off and snuck them, rooted it with the caliper still connected, so we didn't have to drain the whole system and do a bleed, which would have just been a pain in the ass. And I didn't have new brake fluid, so I'd have to go buy that. But we managed. It was all good. So we did that. Torqued the brake calipers back down. Everything's golden. Works great, and no more chafing, because everybody hates chafing. Chafing is no good. There's no baby powder on that shit. I'm gonna head to the meeting at my parents' restaurant there, and then a few more things left to do after that. I have to go source I sent a headset for a friend. A lot of my friends get me to try to find them the cheapest price, because apparently I'm really good at that. And I have friends all over the place in all kinds of businesses, so that helps a lot. They help me, I help them. That's how our world works over here. So after I get that done, then we'll look at plasti dipping the girlfriend's hubcaps. And maybe catch a little bit of a ride. I don't know, we'll see. Might go for an evening ride. Oh, what a great upgrade these rear sets are. Everyone always said, you know, you won't regret rear sets. Changing out the stock ones, and man, these are, oh, should have done them earlier. God damn. So we raised them up a little, so my knees are actually hugging the tank instead of the fairing down here. They're actually more on the tank. I could go up just a bit more, put it on its highest setting, but the shift lever and the brake lever are at the highest setting already, and they won't go any higher. And I know the angle of your foot's supposed to be down a little bit, but it would put me down a little bit more, and I don't know if I like that. I already want to see if I can raise the left side lever up just a bit more. I think it's at its highest, I'm not 100% sure, but I'll check that after. And the throw, like the shift throw, so the motion to get into the next gear, so shifting up, oops, is really short. Like it's so short now. Before I had to lift my foot so much more. Oh god damn red light. So before I had to lift my foot so much more. So before, like, I'd have to lift my foot like that. Now I just have to lift it just a little bit, which is really nice. I can imagine that on the track being so much better. Downshifts, I mean, you don't notice the downshifts that much because you're just pushing your foot down anyways, and half the time you're stomping on it. But the downshifts, pretty normal, works as advertised. The brake lever, so WoodCraft sells the brake lever separate. I don't know if you can see it down there, right there. So the brake lever is separate because it's not attached to the rear set on this bike, so they sell them separately. And my kit came with it. It was something that the guy on Kijiji already purchased. So these rear sets were on Kijiji, and I didn't really intend to buy them because I didn't have much money. But he included it in there for way cheaper than if I were to buy just the rear sets without the brake lever. I think WoodCraft wants another $130 for that brake lever. And honestly, I mean, you're fine with just the stock one, but with this one, you can adjust them a little bit higher, which helps when you're adjusting your peg higher. And it adds a little bit of knurl on the lever instead of just a rubber piece. So it does help. Not that it was really needed, but it's there, and I didn't have to pay much more for it. Actually, not at all if you really think about it. I got that for free and then some. And these were brand new. Anyways guys, that's it. I gotta head to my meeting. Keep the rubber side down and thumbs up the video if you liked it. Thanks guys. I'm late, I'm running very late.